What's up, man? Patrick James here, and I want you to watch this video before you even think about texting that girl again. Cue the intro.
Okay.
Patrick James here, and we got a very interesting video today, and the reason I'm making this video is because I've seen a lot of your guys' questions come into my Instagram DMs. Maybe I don't always have the time to respond to them, but I definitely see them and contemplate them for future content. And then one of my coaching clients had the exact same situation, so I thought I'd address it. So let me describe this to you, and you can let me know if you can relate to this at all. Maybe you meet a girl out, you get her phone number, and you guys agree to hang out in the near future. You don't have any actual set plans in stone, but it's a mutual understanding that you guys might hang out soon. And so you go to text her to set up that date, and she starts giving you 1 to 2 word responses. And then you find a date that she's free, you find a place that you guys could potentially meet up, and then when it comes to actually make the plans finalized where you guys know we're meeting at this place at this time on this day, she completely ghosts you. She flakes, she doesn't respond, and she's not very responsive to your future text. Before you text that girl again, I want you to understand a few things. Because my client who was telling me this exact situation that is very common for a lot of guys, he was like, Patrick, should I text her again? Should I be like, hey, did you get my last text? Should I be like, hey, are we still on for tonight? Even though she never actually agreed to meeting up with you at that time, at that place, on that day? Here's my advice to you. Texting her again will not make a difference. It won't. Because here's the truth of the matter, and it's kind of the hard cold truth, but you need to accept it, is that she didn't change her phone number. She didn't forget to text you back. She didn't not receive your text for some reason. It's not like your text got lost in the airwaves somewhere, in the radio waves. That didn't happen, bro. She got your text and consciously chose to not respond. Now here's the thing. This doesn't mean that she rejected you. It doesn't mean that she isn't interested in you. It just meant that seeing you at that point in time was not yet a priority of hers. Because here is another hard cold truth about women and female nature when it comes to dating, especially early on in the dating process, is that women will always go out of their way to meet up with and see a guy who they're attracted to, even if it means ditching her friends, losing some sleep, being late to work, sacrificing, doing her homework that night. It doesn't fucking matter. If a girl wants to see you, she will see you. Period. Now, here's the thing, that even though it's a hard cold truth, especially if you're on the wrong end of that deal, that's also good news, because that means that you know where you stand with this girl. You know that it's not a no and it's not a yes, it's somewhere in between. It's just not yet a priority of hers. So here's the thing, man. How do you make it so that way you are that guy that she's going out of her way to see? Because like we said, it's human nature. If a girl wants to see you, if she wants to sleep with you, she's perfectly fine sacrificing some sleep that night. She's perfectly fine being tired when she goes to class or to work the next day. She's perfectly fine canceling plans with one of her friends to see this guy who she might have amazing sex with, or the guy who could potentially be her next boyfriend. Obviously, that right there is a priority of hers. So here's how you do it. You build up the tension when it comes to texting. Now, what do I mean? Tension, when I define tension, is literally any emotion that you feel that drives you to take a certain action. For example, when your stomach gets hungry, that hunger creates a tension in your body. And that tension tells you, dude, you gotta go eat some food real fast because we're hungry. That tension drove you to take the action of grabbing food from your refrigerator. Just like when a girl sees a text from a guy that she's actually attracted to, it instantly becomes a priority of her to see him in the near future. And if he can do it while building up the tension, the sexual tension, the tension that drives her to actually want to see him in the future, then she will. But here's the downside, and this is why you should not text her again if she hasn't responded to your text. Because the only thing that's going to kill tension when it comes to texting women is over texting her or texting her to build a connection. And for all you guys who are out there who think you're an expert or you're internet trolls, right? I'm specifically referring to early on in the dating process. Obviously, after you've slept with this girl or after, let's say, 3 to 5 dates, the rules changed a little bit because she already knows you, she's already sold on you, and she's already physically attracted to you. But early on, when she doesn't really know you, when there's no reason for her to actually meet up with you, especially if you're a random guy who she barely even remembers in the first place, there's no tension there. And over texting her, becoming the guy who's always there to validate her over her phone, that's gonna kill the tension, because when she's getting that validation from you right here without actually having to go out of her way to see you face to face, then why would she go out of her way to see you face to face if she's already getting that validation right here? All right. So here's the thing. Here's how you build up the tension to see you again in the near future early on in the dating process without killing the tension. Stick to my 1 invite per girl per week rule. I'm going to say that again. 1 invite per week per girl rule. Meaning if you're going out and you get a girl's phone number and you guys are like, yeah, we should definitely link up again in the near future, and that's your only interaction, that's the only time you know her, right? Then if you ask her out on Tuesday, if she says yes, great, meet her on Tuesday. And then if you guys decide to hang out again later that week, that's perfectly fine because she said yes to that initial invite. But if she says no for whatever reason, maybe she's busy, maybe she genuinely can't see you again, do not text her again to invite her out again that same week on Thursday or Sunday, because it's gonna make you seem like you don't have a life. It's gonna make you seem needy. And if you're already being needy before you've even had your first date, what does that tell her about how you're gonna be down the road when you guys are maybe in a relationship? Obviously, ain't nobody want that kind of baggage. So here's the thing, man. If a girl says no for whatever reason, stick to the 1 invite per week per girl rule. And this is all coming from abundance. So if you only have 1 girl to ask on a date, get more girls to ask on a date. That way, if 1 girl falls through, you can fill her slot with another girl. It's very simple. But this girl, if she says no to you, or she doesn't say yes to you, or she just doesn't respond, it's not a bad thing. It's not a rejection. It just means that you're not yet a priority. So all you gotta do is wait another 7 days, literally just 1 week, to ask her out again. So if she says no to your invite on Tuesday, don't ask her to hang out again that week. Don't text her again. Just text her again the following Tuesday and try again. Start with a clean slate. Now here's the thing, a little couple distinctions here. If you text her again that week, even if it's not to invite her out, again, you're killing the tension. You're over texting early on in the dating process. Early on, the only reason you should be texting a girl is to get her to see you again in the future, in person, face to face, right? That's the only reason you should be texting her early on. Let's say before 3 to 5 dates or before you've slept with her, right? After that, sure, go ahead and text her. But at this point, don't text her. Because like I said, if you do, it's only going to imply that maybe she's your only option, which says that you're the type of guy who doesn't have a lot of options, which says that maybe you're not that attractive after all. And finally, if you do actually follow my 1 invite per week per girl rule, then when you go to text her literally 7 days later, last week is gonna be so far in the past that's not even gonna cross her mind. And this week you can start off on a clean slate. And because of that, it's going to subtly imply, just subconsciously, that, hey, this guy wasn't chasing me around all week just because I didn't text him back or rejected his first invite. Maybe he has other girls that he's dating. Maybe he wasn't that emotionally affected by me not getting back to him or me flaking on him. Maybe he's the type of guy who has a lot of cool things going on in his life. And if you couple that with the fact that maybe she's following you on Snapchat or social media and she sees that you actually are living a cool life, which you should strive to be doing, obviously, right? Then it's gonna be a no-brainer for her to eventually wanna see you. I'll tell you what, from personal experience, there's been so many times that I meet girls out, multiple girls out, and I'll invite them all, trying to line up the dates for the week. Not all the time they say yes. And sometimes I'll end up texting a girl 3 weeks in a row, obviously sticking to my 1 invite per girl per week rule. Maybe it'll be 3 weeks later before she finally agrees to meet up with me. All right, so don't lose faith. Just stick to my 1 invite per girl per week rule, and then don't kill the tension that's gonna actually make her wanna see you again in the near future. Now, if you want more clarity on how to do this, and especially if you want more clarity on how to get her so invested into you that you're the one leading the interaction when you finally do see her in person, I highly recommend you check out my best-selling book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. Right now, we're giving copies away for free while supplies last. All you got to do to get the book for free is cover shipping and handling. That's kind of the trade-off here. So if you want the book, all you got to do is go to howtogetthegirlnow.com. And that said, I will be seeing you in the next video. And before you go, if you have any questions that you want to see answered in the future, feel free to DM me on Instagram at @TheRealPatrickJ on Instagram. And on that note, I'll see you later, my man. Peace out.
Okay.